third from Cody, Wyoming. Jerome Adams out of Oklahoma City. Kelley, the senior. Adams, the freshman. And right away they start rolling and moving.
We got a little scramble there. The one thing when you watch Pat Kelley, you don't know what's going to happen. You can't coach him. He's impossible to coach because he does things that nobody else could do. So you just kind of send him out there and say, well, okay, let's see what happens 7 minutes from now.
I mean, if he stays within the rules and he's successful, he's one of those athletes, as you said, for his particular sport. You just let him do what he does.
It must work because he's a two-time All-American on his way to his third All-American honors, and currently ranked number 2 in the country. Has spent some time this year as the number 1 ranked wrestler, but lost to Ryan Walters from North Dakota State in the duel down here a couple weeks ago.
Boy,
to lose that number 1 ranking, Walters
Stay in there,
was
Jerome.
a national champ 2 years ago at 190 pounds when Pat Kelley was 4th.
He's got that leg, but they're over on the edge. He's able to keep them in. Let's see what's happening here.
There's a two-point takedown.
So the Mavericks.
Now the Mavericks
making a run here.
Mavericks starting to get some edge points back. It's about time that they start scoring on the edge a little bit as well.
We haven't even gone a minute yet in this opening period.
Start bottom. Here
And
we go.
if the entire match goes at this intensity, they're going to have to carry a lot of people out on stretchers. 2-1, Pat Kelley the third, leading over Jerome Adams, I should say.
We talked a little bit about Corey Royal being a pinner. Pat Kelley a pinner as well. There's a takedown by Adams for Central Oklahoma.
So 3-1 now.
Pat Kelley, like I said, he's a pinner as well. In fact, I think he holds the record right now here at UNO for most pins in a career.
Correct myself, I said 3-1. It's 3-2. 2-point reversal.
I mean, I can't really. There's no name for that. It's just Pat Kelley.
So now it's 4-3. Kelley leading with just over a minute and a half to go in this first period. Well, I don't know who's on graphics, but I hope they can keep up with the score changes. I think we're going to have a lot in this match.
Pat Kelley, another one of these long, lanky wrestlers, likes to use his legs a lot. You see him tying up the legs there of Oscar Adams. They list him in the press guide as Jerome, but I think everybody calls him Oscar. Yeah. Sounds tougher.
Yeah, it does. Oscar Adams. But I'll tell you right now, Kelley building up some ride time. About less than half a minute before you can get a point for it. But more importantly, he's showing control over Adams at this point.
Well, this is another one of the matches the Mavericks expected to win. Pat Kelley, the senior, with a 25-3 record, one of the best records on the Maverick team this year. And Oscar Adams, he's a freshman, redshirt freshman. He's only 17 wins against 20 losses. He's one of the few wrestlers in tonight's lineup with a losing record. So that says a lot for both of these squads.
Right, but I bet you if you looked at his individual opponents, some of those losses came against, obviously, some real top-flight competition, and it'll only help them down the road. So.
Well, there's no doubt that neither one of these teams ducks the tough competition. Yeah. And the reason that you want to go out and wrestle the toughest competition you can come up against is because that just gets you more prepared for the national tournament. Because when you get in the national tournament, it's tough from top to bottom.
Oh, we've got an injury timeout. And they're going to give him a 2-point takedown, though, I believe.
That was what we call an eminent situation, where it was eminent that Pat Kelley was going to get the 2-point takedown. And apparently the official, Phil Pasali, felt that Adams was calling timeout to avoid getting the takedown. And
yeah, and the coaches from Central Oklahoma, no complaints from them. But, Jenny, you were talking about to be good, you got to wrestle the best. If I remember correctly, when you were here, you guys were going up against, like, Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, we continuously had a very tough schedule every year in and year out. Wrestled a lot of Division I schools. But when you go to the open tournaments like these guys, still do now, beginning of the season, there's guys from all levels, NAIA, Division II, Division III, and Division I. A lot of action there, but no scoring. Pat Kelley started on top and just remained on top as the time runs out in the first period. He's holding on to a 6-4 lead. Like you said, it's going to be tough to keep up with the scoring in this match.
choice green.
Wow.
Sometimes when Pat Kelley wrestles, it's tough to know who is actually getting the points scored. You don't even, the referees sometimes, I think, have a question themselves.
Well, he's definitely made a reputation for himself, not just in the North Central Conference, but nationally, as R.J. said. Pat Kelley III, one of those guys that you just let him, put him on a match and let him go.
There's a reversal by Adams. That ties the score now 6-6, and a reversal by Kelley.
By Kelley, so now it's 8-6.
Takes an injury timeout.
Looks like that shoulder. It looked like when he rolled Adams over for that 2-point takedown.
See if we can listen in on referee Phil Pasali's mic.
Where you can see Tom Freddy talking to him, but can't really hear him all that well. But it looked like on the takedown move.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't think it was enough of an injury that you know. Obviously, he was able to still get the takedown and then call timeout. So I'm sure he's going to be able to continue. They're getting him up here. We got 52 seconds left here in the match. Pat Kelley holding on to a 15-8 lead.
A second period reversal right there. That was a big move too at
45.
that point. Because that's when they were every other move.
That was about a 6-point flurry there. Pat Kelley up on his feet now, working the shoulder around a little bit.
Well, right now, if things stay the way they are, with the ride time point, we got an 8-point win.
Which makes it, would give the Mavericks a 4-point team victory, which would tie it up 16-16 going into heavyweight. Like I said, it doesn't get any better than that. You always want it to come down to heavyweight because that way the crowd sticks around. You always feel bad for the heavyweights. You know, if UNO, I remember a lot of duels, we'd jump out to a huge lead where it was out of reach. The crowd leaves before the heavyweights even get up to wrestle.
45 seconds to go in the period.
There's another reversal by Adams. That makes the score 15-10 now in favor of Kelley.
We'll see if Pat can get that reversal. He's only got a half a minute to do it. Doesn't mean he won't.
I think what he's going to try to do here is just finish out the last 30 seconds without making any type of big mistake to get himself in trouble. 20 seconds left in the third period. Adams holding on to it.
One red.
Yep. There's that stall call on Adams, and that'll give Pat Kelley another point. 16-10.
When you're down, red.
Well, if Kelley can escape, that'll give him that 8-point bulge again.
Here we go, top.
He's getting to his feet with a stand-up. Adams able to hold on.
9 seconds.
No points awarded yet. Adams still holding on. 5 seconds to go.
That'll do it.
And a 1-point escape awarded. Makes the score 17-10, but with a minute 40 riding time, Pat Kelley does wrap up the major decision over Oscar Adams. That'll tie things up coming into the big boys.
Oh, man. We're even at 16 going into the heavyweight match. The Mavericks, these last 3 weight classes have just come on. It all started with Corey Royal. And we're tied at 16-16 after that major decision win by Pat Kelley III over Oscar Adams. Here we go into the heavyweights. The Mavericks, sophomore out of Wichita, Kansas.